Hi everyone, this is Dr. Sarala. Welcome to Millet Magic.
So, when a lightning strikes, where are you not supposed to be? Under the tree. Correct. Why? Wood, trees, mara, wood. What is the rarest element on this planet? Apart from the rare earth metals which are radioactive, 85 as the time is a thing which has very short life. I'm not asking about it. Otherwise, generally, what is rarest? Say gold, platinum. Now, if I ask you the same question about what is the rarest thing in the universe itself, all the constellations, Milky Ways, everything put. I mean, beyond all this, all the things put. Destinies for our planet Earth. Our Earth is like a small sand particle in this whole big universe. Till today, with all the known technology, scannings of various kinds has declared that there is no place in this universe other than planet Earth, and that is wood. Mara, wood. The rarest thing in the universe is wood. And why does lightning strike wood? It is the wood that stabilizes the energy. It is the aromatic conjugation of the lignin, which is actually dance of electrons running around hexagon molecules called benzene, and it is arranged thousands and thousands of, and that is conjugated aromaticity of electrons, a pool of electrons. When energy comes, it stabilizes. That means what? So if you hold electric wire and if you are standing on wood, you have no problem. And if you are standing on earth, you will go upstairs. Am I right? So the energy who is trapping, it is the wood and the plants. In fact, it is the plant's chlorophyll that traps energy and gives you a first energy molecule called glucose. It is the glucose that every living thing on this planet burns to carbon dioxide and makes energy. So it is the energy is movement from sun to the water molecule breaking, you get hydrogen, which is then trapped by the carbon dioxide. Who is doing all this? Chlorophyll. It's called photosynthesis. And then makes glucose. This glucose transforms itself into different things in this plant kingdom. And the ultimate final result is the wood. Packing of this carbon in distinctly different kind of arrangement, which is absolutely unlike anything, not only on this planet, the whole universe, as far as our knowledge about universe goes. So, what I'm trying to communicate to you is that this is the window between the energy and the material. The material on non-material domains. It is the window between the energy and the material domain. How did material and non-material coming together on this planet Earth is the most distinct, beautiful thing that is. So have you ever looked at a tree with this awesome quality? And that's why Indian ancestors did puja to the tree. We were running around the trees. Whenever you see a people tree, we go around with all due respect, because that is the window connecting the non-material domain to material domain. Energy is getting stabilized. So now when I burn glucose, I get energy. And then what do? We trap it into ATP, adenosine triphosphate. Where does this happen? Any biology students? It happens in a place called mitochondria, in a living cell. That's where you burn your glucose to release ATP, a biological battery. So ATP is the biological battery wherever energy is needed. If I want to open my fingers, close the fist, take a breath, deep breath. Just to hold, you need energy. To breathe it out, to wink your eye, or throw my hand with lot of power at someone. All this is happening because you have the release of energy from ATP to ADP, adenosine triphosphate to adenosine diphosphate. So the energy is locked into that particular triphosphate bond. So you have to make ATP to. So where did this energy come from? It came from sun breaking the water molecule, trapping the nascent hydrogen with carbon dioxide, making glucose molecule. Then that glucose molecule is being burnt, but it's the same glucose molecule transformed itself into wood. Dr. Khadar, what's your name? Dr. Shobha, so all your names. It's this carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and with other small characters like magnesium, iron, this life goes on. And Dr. Khadar is not the same fellow as he was 1 year ago. I'm different. Everything has changed. Every carbon atom that was there 1 year ago is not the same. It is gone out. How did it go? Through my exhaling, through my urination, through my shit, through my sweat. So I'm constantly changing. You think you are going to take birth and die? No, we are not. We are changing. Every 7 years, your kidney nephrons change. Every 7 years, your neurons change. Every 3 months, your blood cells, red blood cells, blood changes. Imagine now you got hurt your skin. The wound heals in 3 days. So the skin is replacing. And it is not just that when there is an accident, it is actually changing. It is releasing. The dead cells are falling. And you do not notice. So, what's your name? Yeah. Punita, 7 years ago. And now, after 7 years, she doesn't have the same kidney. She has changed. It's become new. Now, 3 months ago, her blood, the whole of the 5 liters blood is not the same. Each and every carbon, hydrogen, oxygen is different. Where did it go? Just went into the. Where did it go? It's outside. So, what was inside you is now out, and the plant takes again, makes these things happen. So, someone else is eating. So, How are you connected now? All life forms on this planet are connected. We are exchanging on a daily basis. Is there any money involved here? Money involved? Money involved? No. This is the natural process. How does this material get exchanged? Is through the energy movement of the energy. Is it clear now? So what am I trying to communicate? This is the dance of atoms. Then atoms becoming molecules, molecules becoming bigger molecules, and then they break down, again become. So you are dying and taking birth every moment. So we do not really die when we die. It is just that it is happening every moment, but we think we are going to die when something goes up. And it is this dance of energy that makes our planet very special. And it is that wood that is the most special. And it is this regulating nature of wood, the electron stabilizing capacity of the aromatic conjugation, which is making this life possible on this planet Earth. Of course, you need water, you need soil, you need all that. They are all kind of complementary and supplementing this big business of. Am I right in using the word business? No, I'm not. But colloquially, we use business, the word business. But this is the science of energy. And that's what our ancestors called Indian knowledge system. And that's the reason why when we see an elephant, an ant, a snake, we have reverence. You understand the word reverence? Because it's beyond our comprehension how these things are happening. We are also party to this system. Am I aware that the carbon that was there in my nose, now it is maybe the carbon that is in an elephant's tail? See how deeply are we connected? Are you aware of this? And that's what our ancestors said, did communicate. And we have lost all these knowledge systems in the last 75 years or 100 years or so. And in this fixing of carbon dioxide to glucose molecule on this planet Earth, there are two different distinct photosynthesis called C3 synthesis and C4 synthesis. Carbon 4 unit builds up carbon 5 builds up carbon 6. To build the carbon 4, the grasses actually harbor microbes around the blades of the grass, absorbs water from the atmosphere, and then builds pyruvate to oxaloacetic acid, then to ascorbic, then to citric. Accordingly, they get hydrogenated and you get glucose. This is called C4 photosynthesis. And in rice, wheat, and all the other plants, you start from pyruvic acid directly, oxaloacetic acid. The requirement of water is there. So they start actually take the water from the roots and then supply and make. So if I give more water, pyruvic acid becomes more oxaloacetic acid. So if I give more water, more yield. And that's what your rice and wheat. So only where there is water available, you can grow rice and wheat. And that was the case. So 3%, not even 3%, I think 2.1% of the land had large amounts of water. That's where rice was grown, wheat was grown. That means rice and wheat are not slated to be naturally food for anyone. Because it cannot be grown everywhere and anywhere. And which was grown everywhere and anywhere? C4 grasses, which do not need water to be absorbed from the roots. It can in fact take the water from the humidity available. That means at 10 degrees also it can grow, even at 45 degrees it can. So 96% of the planet Earth, these C4 grasses are growing and fixing carbon dioxide and making grains. In the grains, because of not having enough water, they were associated with fiber. Fiber associated with the carbohydrate as the glucose is made, converted to polysaccharides and carbohydrates, complex carbohydrates. You had fiber associated. Greens and vegetables, roots and tubers, and grains. This is the classification made by Charaka, Ayurveda. And what is the parameter here? Greens and vegetables, nascent fiber, just then it is getting formed. Roots and tubers, immature fiber, and grains, that is C4 grasses, matured fiber. And that fiber associated with these small grains, and the grain size was millimeter and up. So milli, M-I-L-L-E, means in French language 1/1000 millimeter, milligram, milliliter, millimeter, milligram. Milli is 1/1000. So you have here group of grasses giving grains which are almost 1 millimeter size. So they grouped them and said they are millets. Piglet, chicklet, chocolate, like that. Millet. So millets are the grains that are available on this planet everywhere and anywhere. Because you don't need water to be supplied, you don't need to be supplying fertilizer, pesticides, all these. So till the atomic bomb dropping of America on Japan, everyone was growing millets and eating, including England fellows ate what is called proso millet. Germans ate what is called barnyard. Americans ate brown turf. Africans ate little millet. In fact, there are more than 240 varieties of millets on this planet. And all these millets started entwining the fiber along the carbohydrate. Whereas rice and wheat, because of C3 photosynthesis, they had the luxury of water and made carbohydrate polysaccharides without the need of fiber. And that's why rice and wheat, once you remove the top layer, you have only full carbo. So, you understand the difference? Now, so if you eat rice and wheat, what happens in your body? If I eat millets, what happens? Or if you eat roots and tubers, what happens? Roots and tubers have immature fiber. That means they release glucose into your bloodstream slowly and steadily. Now, if I eat millets, it is 1,000 times slower than that. Now, if I eat greens and vegetables, it's also slow. But greens and vegetables do not have enough carbohydrate or enough nutrients because 98% of it is water. So, by logic, the food of human gut for thousands and thousands and thousands of years was roots and tubers plus grains. What grains? Which was available for the human race as they walked along these C4 grasses. C4 grasses, by the way, 6,000 varieties exist. In fact, the grains are so small that you cannot even see with eyes. And these grains are actually labeled in Indian literature called Chudra Dhanya. That means something all of a sudden you see grass growing, they don't know where it came from. So this must be the Chudra Gana's work. That's what they say. So this kind of literature about the food system has completely disappeared just because Americans dropped bomb in Where? Japan. 2 times atomic bomb. So till then, the World War was going on. Both sides piled up bombs. Next 10 years, they decided to fight. So all of a sudden, atomic bomb dropping stopped the war. And everyone was scared. Both sides were scared. Including Americans were scared. Oh, what did we do? But then after the war stopped, both sides have piles of bomb material. Those times the bomb was starting, the material was ammonium nitrate. So what do we do with these bombs? How do we keep? So in Germany, it just leaked, and then they saw rice and wheat, grasses growing more. Then all of a sudden the idea hit, they made fertilizers. Then the concept of green revolution came. And then they said, oh God, we are making a lot more grains than what it used to. So they said, we'll make companies. They patented. They started making everyone eat rice and wheat. So lakhs of years, actually the earliest archaeological evidence show 178,000 years ago, the reminiscence of, please listen, I may be boring you, but this is very important for all of you to know. The information, the knowledge that we have lost is what actually is the basic reason why young boys and girls are not able to produce kids anymore. The birth rate now in India has also come down to 1.8, and all other countries are disappearing from the planet. There are no Japanese born in the last 6 years. What it means is, if 1,000 people die, we should have 1,600 people born for the country to further into future. But now it is 820 Japanese are born. So it continues year after year. You are going to see the gap, and that means Japanese are going to be eliminated sooner or later. If the ratio of the birth rate is less than 2.1, this is going to happen. And India was okay till 2005. Now we have also started slowly. And that's why you see wherever you go IVF centers. That means if a young boy and girl meet, they are not able to produce the kid. You got in vitro fertilization. So the sperm count is going down, the PCOD, endometriosis, all these genital problems are cropping up. Where am I going? Where am I going with this information? It's the food that changed this. After the World War II, after the dropping of atomic bombs, the food was selected by the companies. Till then, all over the world, everyone was eating what was grown around them. And that is the first principle of Ayurveda. Whatever grows around you is your food elements. You see slowly how our ancestors recognized the importance of what grows around you is what you are. But now, everyone, whenever you get sick, everyone has to eat an apple and take a piece of bread. This is what food corporates have done. Apple grows in Kashmir or Seattle. But everyone on this planet, that means the whole natural systems have been wiped out once the food corporates started taking control of food. So the whole food is controlled by the corporates. So that means it's absolutely unnatural. So when you're eating rice and wheat, you're not eating the right food. Why? Rice and wheat does not have associated fiber. It releases glucose like a flood into your bloodstream and your homeostasis. That is, the amount of glucose dissolved in your whole system of blood is gone kaput. It should be 5 grams per 5.5 or 6 liters of your bloodstream. Now you have 50 grams, 100 grams. I went to Ahmedabad, Gujarat to give lecture. The morning breakfast, quarter kilo, jalebi. Rice and wheat itself release glucose like flood. And on top of it now you take sugar. It's worse than flood. And we did not question this. No scientist in the world questioned why the hell am I eating rice and wheat when it disturbs my homeostasis. Now the same idli, 5 idli or 10 idli we eat with rice, or 5 parathas with wheat, your blood is flooded. You eat 5 idlis of kodo millet, barnyard millet, or foxtail millet, or even ragi for that matter, whose fiber content is on 3.6, but it is associated with the carb. So the flood does not happen. That means the homeostasis of the blood is preserved, conserved. That means your flood can flow through your system without any problem. So when you eat rice and wheat, we are disturbing the homeostasis. So what happened over a period of time? Your blood became thick. Then what happened? It started accumulating in the blood vessels. Then what happened? You had a heart block. You had a BP. You go to the doctor. Doctor says, your blood has become thick. What do you do, sir? Take this blood thinner. How long, sir? How long? In Hassan, last 3-4 months back, more than 30, I think 38 kids fell flat on the roads. And we don't know how many died in the ICUs. That means our blood has become thick and becoming thick. And they actually were using blood thinners. But then you keep pressing from the other side, supplying blood glucose in 50 grams, 30 grams each and every meal. This is the disaster. So the biochemists of the world till today have not informed us that your blood is becoming thick because you are eating something that cannot regulate the release of glucose into your bloodstream. And why this BP was not there thousands of years in human race? Because they were not eating rice and wheat. And they didn't have this sugar. It's only in the last, from 1825, when the dams were built. The dams were built because fertilizers were ready. Why fertilizers were ready? Because they made piles of bombs and they converted it to, of course, after that they started making only fertilizers without even making bombs. Now that they know how to do. And meanwhile, they patented the seeds of this. And they said, they started conquering all nations in the world. They came, they said, we are experts. We have agricultural universities. You people are eating primitive food. You people are eating bird food. You people are eating suvar ka khana kha rahe hai, janwaron ka khana kha rahe hai. These are the exact words they said. Then all of a sudden the human race felt ashamed that we need to eat premium food. Then the fertilizer business. As of now, Indian government in the last 20 years has been giving a check for 4 lakh crores per year, every year in the name of farmers, just to get the fertilizers in business. When you grow monoculture, now where rice and wheat were found in 2.1% of the land mass, now they are occupying 48% of the land. That's why now you have BP, thyroid, diabetes, so much so now 6 kids out of 100 are born with type 1 diabetes. Am I making sense now? So where did we go wrong? We didn't ask the question that why am I supposed to eat rice and wheat instead of millets? So much so that by the time I came back in 1997, it's been almost 1 more year, 30 years, that we have lost the grains themselves totally. All over the world, no one knows what these grains are. I went to England, actually from Lancaster to London. 20 places I gave lectures. They don't even know what millet is. That means it is a planned elimination of local foods and food systems by the food companies. That's why 30% of Indians are now diabetic, 35% people are taking B vitamins, and young boys and girls are not able to produce kids. When your blood homeostasis is disturbed, your testicles producing sperms is gone out of balance. So you started having IV-based centers and calling it most advanced scientific pillars of the society. Can you believe this stupid thing? But that's what you're believing. So it is the sugar that you are dumping in your bloodstream, the most unscientific thing, and till today no one questioned because it is controlled by this food company. So you go to doctor, they are experts. What are they saying? Take the tablet. If only the doctor says, please stop eating rice and wheat and sugar, I can guarantee, don't mistake this guarantee, this government certificate. I have been using for the last 30 years. Okay? This guarantee is based on science. Your bloodstream does not receive glucose in flood form. If it receives slowly and steadily regulated form, you will never ever have BP, sugar, thyroid. All these issues will be just wiped out like this. So he was 62, he was suffering for 10 years, all the organs are about to go kaput. Then they start eating millets. The magic happens. Is it magic? No, it is science of millets. We have had this experience. Almost everyone who goes through dialysis has the same feeling. For some time I'll go through this and I am going to die. No, you don't need to. If you change your food, life happens again. Am I making sense? And all the world now believes IVF centers, dialysis center, advanced machinery. And you call that science? This is the sad story of human race. We have lost the way. We are not having reverence to the plant kingdom, fauna and flora. And each and every living thing on this planet is important to keep you healthy, to keep you happy. But what did we do? In the last 40 years, we have lost 18,000 biodiversity. It's not just 18,000. 18,000 life forms have completely extinguished because you have converted them to 92 billion pigs, which look alike, 240 billion chickens, which look alike. Chicken. 400 million cows are butchered every year. And all that you eat and the left out meat is boiled and the fat collected and it is called dalda all over the world. Everyone now has to eat chocolate, biscuit, cake. All these are prepared by mixing this dalda. Ayagar bakery. What is he feeding you? This is the science for you. And now to make 1 kilo wheat, 8 kilograms of soybean and 8 kilograms of genetically modified sweet corn are mixed and then fed to this, whether it is pig or chicken or cow or dog or cat, whatever. So you are accumulating the chemicals that are there in this 8 kilograms of soybean and corn mix, which are actually can directly kill your hemoglobin. Because it is the same chemical used in the warfare as Agent Orange and then now evolved to glyphosate, which is made to produce your soybean. So now everyone is told you need protein. Now they have spun green revolution. They have spun white revolution. Everyone has to drink milk. Why does cow give milk? For the cough to drink. But why are you drinking coffee and tea? Your mother gave you milk. That's your milk. So cow gives milk for the calf. Why are we drinking? Because the companies have IVF. Cows are producing 30, 40 liters of milk. You are drinking. What are you told in your science books? Milk, complete food. This is the description. But we asked no question. We should have asked for whom? Your mother's milk is your complete food. The steroidal hormonal balance is given by your mother's milk, not by cow's milk. But then they have a nice way of telling it. Milk has calcium. So if you don't drink milk, you will not have calcium. And believe me, you cannot absorb the calcium from cow's milk because our bodies are not designed to do so. Only if the milk is converted to curds by lactobacillus and anaerobic bacterial fermentation, you can get some calcium into your system. So, the signs that these corporates are just telling lies through their teeth. And you are not asking questions. Why the hell am I drinking cow's milk? No, you have to drink it. So much so that when they started drinking milk, in America and Europe, women started having upper lip mustache. Hey, no problem, beauty parlor. That's life. That's when girls, boys started losing the sperm. Not only sperm, the hair. In fact, bald head was only 1.8%, now it has become 18%. Below 30 years old. This is directly related to your sperm count and sperm count. It's because of hormonal balance we have started. That's why the IVF technology started being adopted to humans also. Do you see the evolution of this nonsense? Which we are calling science. Amazing. Amazing. So, what do we do then? Now reverse all these so-called modern day life diseases. What is single window solution? Millets. Change your food. Change your life. Will you do that? No, you will not be able to do because there are no millets. In 2000 year, only 8 million tons were grown, that too for bird feed. Pearl millet, great millet, proso millet, bajra, ragi, that is finger millet. They were all grown for the fiber to make biscuits. Have you seen this wonderful business model taking over the human and making a business called science? So you are not living a scientific life. What are you living? Tell me. You are living a business life. There is no science in it. Each and every morsel of food that is going into your mouth is laced with chemicals, pesticides, fertilizers, and no science. It is nonsense. Sorry to put it so correct. I'm sorry, but that's what is happening. And who is suffering? Who is suffering? The young generation, next generation. And you ask these elders, oh, next generation is useless. But who made this young generation? Who made the environment for this young generation? Exactly. See now, on December 31st, Bangalore alone sold 600 crores worth liquor. Who drank? These the young people. Who made the money? Only the world fellows. Now you are all watching IPL match at a World Cup match. 2 hours you are thinking you are watching cricket match. But behind what is happening is Shah Rukh Khan comes and sells gudka every over twice. You do not know that. As soon as you go out, you have gudka malas, even near the temples. So the sale of gudka increased 28% once a World Cup match or IPL match happens. Who is getting addicted to this? Shah Rukh Khan is making 5 crores per week. But who is getting gudka? Who is getting mouth cancer? Are you able to connect these dots? Are you connecting the dots? Not because Father told, you should have done long ago. So it is the rarest of the rare things on this universe that's going to correct your lives. The lignons, they can stabilize your life form. They can give you the lost health. In fact, the next generations out of 100 are going to spend their time minimum of 8 weeks per year. Can you believe this is going to happen? The young generation is going to spend their 8 weeks of time per year in an hospital. You have multi-speciality hospitals, like mushrooms they are coming. If the science has been right, what should have happened? The hospitals should have come down. But what are you seeing? Increase. What does that imply? The science has been wrong all along. So where is the real science? Where is the real science? Running around a tree. You take people tree. Just take 108 pradakshinas. Your genital organs, that toxic morbid waste accumulated will start coming. So we have had this experiment. Just take people leaf, put it in boiling water for 2 minutes, drink that decoction. We have helped PCOD, polycystic ovary disease, thyroid disease starts disappearing. So it is the greens and vegetables, it is the roots and tubers, it is the grains. And what is common here? The fiber content, which is immature fiber, nascent fiber, mature fiber. So if you want to be healthy, what should be flowing in your blood? Fiber. Fiber is plenty in millets. Each each 100 grams of millets, foxtail millet has got 8 grams, brown top millet has got 12.5%, kodo millet has got 9%, barnyard millet has got 10%, little millet has got 9.8%. And each of these grains and fibers help you particular organs in your body. So we have done all these experiments and figured out what to eat when you have this particular disease, which is the order of the millets that is to be taken. So all that diligently we have done experiments for 8 to 10 years. In the clinic that we receive almost every day 15 to 16 patients on a regular basis, every day almost for the last 25 years. So we have been able to observe and see the improvement of their health, and then they started throwing away their tablets and becoming healthy. So the thing that you need to make the multi-speciality hospital not outside in your tummy, gut microbiomes, the last microbes that help you to build your health is actually the gut-brain axis. You have all kinds of relationship with your gut microbe. They can heal you, not the outside doctors. So if you eat millets and drink ambali on a regular basis, what does doctor say? You take the tablet lifelong. So when you eat millets and drink ambali, what can you say? Lifelong you can say bye-bye to doctor. Are you ready to tell bye-bye to doctor, or do you want to spend 8 weeks every year of your life in the hospitals? Please, choice is yours. So this is one simple technique. Even a common man can be empowered. You need only 5 grams of these millets, 500 ml of water, soak them for 8 hours, cook them for 10 minutes, then tie a cotton cloth and keep it for 8 hours. The fermentation, aerobic fermentation. Wonderful, diversified aerobic microbiome is built. Within 6 months, your body becomes like a fort. Corona 19, Corona 99, they group up all the microbes put together, put them in your mouth. Nothing will happen. Guarantee. If only you do this. And it costs you 50 paisa per day. So if I were the head of this institute, I would make it mandatory to all the kids, before you go out in the evening, please drink a tumbler of ambali. Go home and eat millet idli or dosa or pulao or whatever you want. Make it with. Thank you very much. Bye.